What's up, everybody? Welcome to my review of the Latitude 64 Keystone. This one is in the Opto plastic. Big thank you to Dynamic Discs for sponsoring this video. You can go to dynamicdiscs.com right in the description of this. Click the direct link. They'll take you straight to the Keystone on their website for you to purchase it. Really nice flying discs. I really appreciate Dynamic Discs for their continued support as one of my long-term sponsors. They are awesome. Also, huge shout out to all the subscribers and supporters of me here on YouTube. If you guys like the content, please consider subscribing. You can also check me out on Patreon if you want to financially support the show and be listed as a producer in the credits at the end of the video. So let's get into the review of the Opto Keystone. So, good looking disc, nice lettering here. An Opto plastic. I wanted to check this one out in the Opto because I'm always on the search for really nice premium plastic throwing putters. This one is definitely solid, and I definitely want to continue testing it for my own purposes. But I definitely wanted to check it out more in a throwing plastic because I didn't really want to worry about so much of the putting testing and stuff, just based on the fact that putting is so subjective and different based on who you are. 2, 5, -1, and 1 are the flight numbers here. I sometimes take a little bit of offense to a putter having a glide that's 5 or more, because I feel like that should probably be reserved for more like mid-ranges and drivers, but I don't really have any factual information to back that up. It's just kind of a feeling. I feel like we only just started seeing putters with 5 for glide, and it's all very, very subjective. As we know, the numbers are just a guideline, so don't worry about it too much. But it's definitely a glidey disc, and it floats for a while, definitely slightly understable, and no real strong fade to it. So overall, I'd say the flight numbers are pretty spot on. This one has a pretty flat top to it for sure, and you can see that it's a very comfortable, smooth design. No bead, a little bit more kind of squared off, I'd say. I really like the way the underside feels in my hand for putting. I did putt with this thing a little bit, but not much. I don't have any footage of that, but it's just a very point-and-shoot putter, and I think the Keystone in general is probably a really solid straight flying putter that I should probably check out in a 0 medium or something at some point. But I've been back to putting pretty good with my magnet, so I might just stick with that and not keep messing with it over time. 174 grams is the weight listed on the bottom of this thing. The Opto plastic, well documented here on my channel, is probably my favorite overall plastic on the market. You guys know I absolutely love it for any of my throwing discs. You know, I wouldn't want to necessarily putt with an Opto Keystone, but as a thrower, it's phenomenal. It's my favorite plastic for mid-ranges and drivers overall, and I especially like the opaque Opto Lucid blends for some reason. They just feel really nice, they look good, and yeah, just a really phenomenal plastic. It's got a little bit of flexibility to it, a little bit of give under the thumb. It's nice and soft and grippy, especially for a premium plastic, but it's not floppy. It releases out of your hand nice and smooth, and it's extremely durable. So let's take another closer look at the profile on this guy. Definitely comfortable feel in the hand. I like that flat edge, especially for putting when you fan your hand out, like I said. Feels nice. Let's put it up next to a couple other options. I have a Moonshine Deputy. We'll put that there. Deputy, still more understable, but not hugely so, actually, compared to the Keystone when you're actually throwing the disc. Here it is side by side. Deputy kind of has like that super small bead there, and it's more rounded. This one's got a little bit more of a dome on the top as well. And then I also have just a classic Judge here. I figured I'll put it next to that as well, just in case it's something that you might be familiar with already. There it is, side by side with the Judge. So the feel in the hand is fantastic, extremely comfortable. I love the Opto plastic, no issues there whatsoever. It does not have a bead, so if you don't like beaded putters for throwing or for putting, Keystone could be a good option for you to check out. And all in all, I think it's a nice straight flying disc that feels good in the hand. No issues there whatsoever. Let's talk about the flight of this thing. There's not a lot to say. I maybe did not test this disc quite as much as I'd like to be perfectly honest. In fact, you guys unfortunately won't see more than maybe one throw of me throwing this disc, just based on what's been going on lately. I keep getting out to the course with my camcorder and some discs I need to test, and then it's busy there, or the way the flow of the round is going, I just don't necessarily have time to get the footage I need. It's been kind of a problem, to be honest. I'm looking to get back out and get back on track with that soon, but I do have at least a few shots of this thing flying from Andy and James that we took months ago at this point, kind of like somewhat early on in the whole quarantine experience and stuff. that we got out and did some testing. And I should have just done my own filming that day, but I was trying to kind of, you know, dip my toe in getting back out, to be perfectly honest, at that time. But you'll still be able to see that this thing is very straight. It has some natural turn to it, so you kind of want to put it on a slight hyzer to flip it up and get it to fly really straight with nice glide and nice float. Great approach disc, just kind of point and shoot. You definitely want to play for that little bit of turn to it. It will flip and hold over easier than I was kind of expecting, but it could be a really, really great option for a beginner disc. Like, I think this would be a really fantastic one disc option for somebody who's just getting into the game. Keystone. You can have an Opto Keystone or even a baseline plastic one. It's going to do everything you need to do in terms of learn how to throw straight without overpowering it, learn how to throw without having too much off-axis torque. You know, if you're throwing this thing, it's wobbling, that's going to tell you that is happening, so you can kind of adjust for that and learn how to throw nice, smooth, straight shots with this disc, even as a brand new beginner. For me and my power, I like it more as a hyzer flip straight throwing putter, something that I can have hold a really nice soft turnover as well, and really pretty neutral overall. Definitely more kind of leaning towards the understable side of things. You can't throw it flat and strong without getting some natural turn out of it, for sure. In fact, based on my testing, maybe you could say it's probably maybe a little closer to a -2 in terms of the turn for this particular one. Definitely a little bit touchy in my experience, but all in all, a straight flying disc that definitely works well. I think is very well suited to newer players that don't have a ton of arm speed. If you are a big power player, you probably want something more stable than this, unless you're looking for something that you can throw really soft on a hyzer flip and let it go real straight, or something that will move right naturally on you and get you around corners and stuff like that. Sometimes throwing a high turnover with a slower disc like a putter is better than, you know, a forehand with a driver, and certain circumstances where you want to kind of float more around the corner rather than fade around the corner. It could be a nice smooth turnover putter, but great all-around disc for approaches and putting and short drives. Definitely be a great beginner option. That is my review on the Latitude 64 Keystone. Enjoyable disc for sure. One that I will probably continue to test for my own bag when I get back out there and play some more technical courses and stuff. I hope to carry this thing and see how she works working through the trees and stuff in the woods. I think it could be a great disc for that. Kind of similar to my magnets and flight, but in a more premium plastic. Definitely could be a good option. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you once again to Dynamic Discs for sponsoring this video. Thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon and my subscribers here on YouTube. I love you guys, and I will check you very soon. Cheers. Thank you so much for watching, and big thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. If you would like to see your name listed in the credits of all of my videos, go to patreon.com/discgolfnerd.